Hang on. Right, can you hear me?
Bill and Danny Show. Thanks for joining us. Let's go.
Philip! Hello!
All right.
How the devil are you?
Good, thank you.
It's good to
I'm
see
trying to
you.
find a tissue.
Pardon?
Just finding a tissue.
Oh no.
No, it's all right. I'm just
It's a summer, too much dust in the air, is it?
yeah, we're not here.
No?
No.
What's it been like?
Well,
Over in the West Country.
well, Brecon Beacons, I think that's where I've been doing some walks.
All day today or been
All
out
day
for a few
today. I'm
days?
actually bloody knackered.
How far do you reckon you walked, mate?
About 9 miles, but
Up and down.
yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
Was it?
Halibont,
Oh.
very
What's that?
nice.
What's that? An area or a collection?
A reservoir,
Oh,
big reservoir, and then you kind of go along the Taff Trail, which is from all the way from Cardiff to Brecon. It's an old railway line. So you walked along that for a bit, and then you cut up, go up through some paths, and then onto a little tiny path. It's all the sites. So there's basically the reservoirs like that. I'll show you. Hang on, can I share the screen?
you can share the screen.
Yeah.
You know you can share the screen.
Photos. Oh no, cancel. Share. Oh, how do I do it? Screen. Broadcast. No, Zoom. No, that doesn't work. Oh, it's because I'm on my iPad. Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's okay. That's all right. You remember last time you did it? You did share content or something, didn't you?
Yeah. Hang on, I'm trying to find you now. Hang on. Let's just get you back. Zoom.
It's Phil and Dan.
Start broadcast.
Thanks for joining us. Let's go.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
You can see me.
I
Right.
can. Yes.
And now you can see. Can you see me?
I can't see you, but I can see your screen. Yes, I can
Right.
see.
That's me.
Oh, like a teardrop.
Yeah.
Or
There
a
it
kidney.
is.
More
And
like
that's
a
the
kidney.
valley. And there's
Wow.
well, it's very high up there. So we walked. You see where those trees are at the bottom?
Yeah.
Then go to the right, and you can't see it, but
Yeah. You can see the tree line on the hill over on the other side.
yeah.
So you climbed up.
And we came up. So we walked up that. Yeah. Anyway.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Very
They're all
beautiful.
quite similar height, aren't they? At the top there. All the
Yeah,
all the hills.
Yeah. There's
What's
Rosa.
that? Hello, Rosa.
So that's
Go back. She looks like she's having a time of her
it was
life.
very windy, very windy. And then
Yes.
not me going, come on. That's me fine. Don't worry about that.
Philip, where's the tea room?
There she is. There we
Have you
are.
given her the heavy rucksack as well?
No. I was carrying a rucksack. Thank you.
All right.
Right. Stop sharing.
Excellent.
There we are. Yeah, beautiful. And then a few days ago, we went to Clantony Priory, which is beautiful. We went up to Hatterall Ridge, which is stunning.
Is that?
Stunning. Right at the top, and then all the way along the ridge. And then we tried to go, so there's a route, so imagine this massive horseshoe. So you've got the little priory down the bottom, and it's huge. And we went up the side along, and it looked like there's a path down that way.
Yes.
We came all the way down there, and then it kind of like, oh, we're going to die.
Oh,
So
no.
all the way back.
No. Oh, I hate
We went
that.
up, which was really hard.
Yeah.
Then down, and then we had to go up again.
Oh.
And then down again.
Ouch.
But it was okay. And then it was like biblical rain. just as we got to the car. Thank God.
Thank God.
That would have been hard.
Yeah.
If it started raining like that.
Yeah.
When we were stuck.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was on holiday. I went for a little bit of a walk. No, was I on holiday? I can't remember. Anyway, I was out walking, and I had a choice where to walk to, and I took the road. You know, optimist. Sounds like you are as well. You know, well, this looks like fun. Maybe if we adventure over here, it's adventuring, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
There is a risk.
Sure.
There's a risk it's going to go tits up, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to accept that risk for
Yeah,
the reward that you
Yeah.
sometimes get.
exactly. And that's like today we went. So at the beginning of the war, I was really grumpy because it was like, you know, tram line. I don't like walking along railway lines. It's sort of a bit like, you know, flat. And I
Yeah.
said, we've come up to this beautiful wilderness, and I want to go up there. And Rosa was much more like, no, we keep going. There's a mountain behind us, so if we just keep going, there'll be a path likely. So we came to this path. Like, we'll try it there. I was like, all right. We wiggled out, and it was quite hard for about 2.5 hours.
Right.
And then we came and went right out, and then we got to this thing. We could see back. And it was incredibly cold. Suddenly it got really cold.
Really? Really?
And then we saw back, and I said, oh, back down there we'd seen a little, and you could see, because we were above it,
Yeah.
the path. So we went back down, knowing that this weird little thing
Right.
would probably lead to the thing
Yes.
going up into the hills. So
Yeah.
we followed it, and sure as that, and then it was like, oh, this was so worth it.
Fantastic. Yes.
It's
And you get the reward.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you know where you're going, it's fine. It's that when you're walking, you don't know where you're going. It's like, this could be hours of just tedious, or this could reveal this beautiful, because everything around us was beautiful. It was just, how do we get, and it's also massive.
Yeah.
You can't just go, it's just down there.
Yeah.
You have to, like you say, you've got to commit.
Yes. Yes. To the yeah, adventure favors the bold, or whatever
Yeah.
it's called. And it's so true. You know, although you do lose sometimes, you have to be prepared to accept those losses, or
Yeah,
otherwise
yeah.
you'll never get the wins. And
Yeah.
so very proud of you. That's probably why I like you, because you are an adventurer. You know?
Yes.
That is important
I
to
tried
me.
to be.
People
Yeah.
who are prepared to put themselves out there. You know, I think it's a good trait, an excellent trait.
And it's so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And you know, when you just think, God, I've lived here, this area, and I know a lot of it, but there's so much I haven't seen. I mean, you're probably the same around Kent and stuff.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
So when you actually make an effort, and you're right. And so I've never been. Dad was telling me, so Taliban's really nice, because we were going to go up to the Elam Valley, which is stunning.
Right.
It's like wilderness,
Right.
but it's too far. And I had to see Dad this morning, but it was like, by the time we get there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Dad, why don't you go? So I showed him my room. So, well, if you go kind of there, Taliban, we used to fish there as kids, he said.
Right.
So it's beautiful. So I've never been there.
No.
And we just took that. It's literally one road, and there's nothing. It's nothing for miles and miles. It's the road ends, and that's it. Mountains.
Right. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So much, so much to explore.
Yeah.
So much,
Well,
even
that's
just
the
in your own
Brecon
backyard. Yeah.
So-
Oh, how far away was that from?
From here, it's an hour. About an hour,
An hour.
hour and 5 minutes, something like
Yeah.
that. At Ryder, where I wanted to go, well, the Elam Valley is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I stopped seeing down at 12, so we wouldn't have got there till 2,
Yeah.
you know.
No, good call. Good choice. Very good. Yeah. And do you think those hills, how are they? What's the geological activity that's caused them?
It's glacial. So
Is
it's
it?
all massive, beautiful U-shaped valley, beautiful,
It-
wide,
Yeah.
and enormous. It's beautiful. The Brecons, that's where the SAS train.
It
It's
does
very
look like it looks like a duvet, doesn't it? You know, that's been laid out,
Yeah.
undulating.
This huge sweeping kind of like that.
Yeah.
And beacons, there's ridges, loads
Right.
of. So once you get up, you can
Right,
walk
really?
for miles, I mean, miles and miles. So
Wow.
getting up is hard, but then
Yeah.
when you're up there, the walking's quite pleasant. It's
Because it
but,
does look quite flat up there in a weird
yeah,
way.
yeah.
So
But the
you
weather,
can follow these.
obviously, weather is, if the weather changes, it's hell.
Yeah.
High up, so it just comes like even today. It was sunny. We had hail, rain, wind, nothing. So as soon as you're up there, it's like
Right. Right.
it's sort of very. So it changes, and it can do very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the SAS train there, you can have it. It can go very bad very quickly.
Yeah. They've had, yeah. It can be brutal, can't
We
it?
saw a group of army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were walking up, and they were coming down. An old group of them, very young. So
Yeah, I know.
my dad said they do marching, and they just march. It's just to get their stamina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did 5 minutes of well, it was 20 minutes of yoga, but 5 minutes of lying with my legs slightly off the ground this evening. Absolutely killed me. I don't know how they manage it, those army people. I mean, blimey, hats off, frankly, hats off. Yeah, good stuff.
How's your week been?
My week has been fraught, Philip, fraught, mate.
Oh.
Yes. A-level results, weren't they?
Well, that's sorted. Is it? Should be.
Well, is it? Who knows? I mean, it's all good. It's all bad, whatever, isn't it? But it's been emotional. Let's say it was always going to be emotional, but doubly so, I think, because of the shenanigans. But yeah, we're so we've been doing a lot of that. And what else? How about you? Been
Well, yeah, I went to see some friends. He's John, my friend. He's got a lap steel.
Yeah.
He's had it for ages.
Right.
And he was showing me. And actually, the stuff he's done is gorgeous. He doesn't really, he's just got one. But he said it's quite easy because each fret is the top 3 strings are major chords, and the bottom minor, and then on the fret you have a sort of steel, quite like heavy block thing.
Yeah.
So he was basically saying, look, if you want G major, it's those 3 there.
Yeah.
And then A minor.
Yeah.
So he said, if you want basic, obviously, if you want to play it like really, that's really hard.
Yeah.
But if you're just sort of getting the odd, chords.
Yeah.
And he sent me 3 songs, and it's great. It's really lovely. The lap steel.
Oh,
he's a bloody good guitarist. He is a Brit, but he's not a lap steel player. But he so I'm quite tempted because he got his off Tommen.
Yeah, Tommen.
It was like 80 quid or something.
Wow.
Yeah, like a lap steel, and then he got a proper steel.
Yeah.
At about 30 quid or something. So he said it's not, you can get, and it sounds great. Really nice.
You know that the woman that you shared her album with me.
Sondheim.
Yes.
Suzanne Sondheim. Suzanne Sundfør.
Sundfør. Yeah, Sundfør. She has the first 2 songs have got I don't know whether it's pedal steel or lap steel or slide. I don't know.
Steel.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a whole different, because you play that with your knees, your feet, God.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Well, what I love is when you do verse, chorus, instrumental, something like that. Classic. Yeah. And you give them 4 bars of instrumental or something like that. It's all fairly standard issue, isn't it? I love it when somebody breaks it and like in that she gives them like 16 bars
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
instrumental, and it's just like, oh, you're gonna, that'll be your lot now. No,
Uh,
you're having more, and it's
more,
so worth it as well. Pardon?
gorgeous,
Oh,
gorgeous.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and he's obviously she, whoever's
yeah,
playing the pedal, is obviously got a lot to say with it. They've
yeah,
got
yeah,
more, so it's not just, oh God,
yeah,
it's gonna go round
yeah.
again. It's like, yeah,
That's-
more.
No, I
Love it.
love it, pedal steel. I love it. Pedal steel, I mean, lap is lovely, but pedal steel is, oh,
But that's much more complicated, you
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're hard and they cost, they're a whole, they're like, they're a machine, they're a kind of thing. And yeah, you've got your knees do something, your knees dampen and then your feet sustain.
Oh,
And
really?
then you've got, is it how many 2 layers of, yeah, it's hard and it's complicated.
Have you ever seen Stevie Wonder playing? He's got one built for. He's got one. So I don't know even if it's a real, or just his own personal. It's like a guitar, but God, I can't even remember. You should look it up. It's like, uh, just a collection of strings laid out. It's
Right.
amazing, amazing.
Uh,
I'm going to see if I can find it now.
yeah. It's not a zither, is it? Or a dulcimer or something.
It'd be
You hit with a hammer, like a little.
Stevie Wonder slide. No, that didn't come up with the.
Dulcimer, maybe.
Oh yeah, there we go. No, he's playing something there, but I don't know what it is. Could be.
So he plays it.
Yeah, and it's like his version of a guitar. Oh yeah, it does look like a. Oh, there we go. He's having a go on a dulcimer there, but no, I don't think it was that. Anyway, yeah, what instrument is Stevie Wonder playing in this video?
Let's see.
um, can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, make it. Can you make it? So it looks like one of those. Yeah, so yeah, they've got little buttons at the end. Although it doesn't look like he's playing it like that.
No, and it's only got, look, it hasn't got anything over this, no vertical strings. The vertical strings are only over here.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody, is it a harpeggi?
Never heard of that, but I mean, there's
Let's
some
hear
of
what
where
it
you have
sounds
little
like.
buttons. And you press the buttons for the chord, and then you strum the.
Can you hear this?
No.
Ah. Man, he's playing Get Lucky, you know.
Oh yeah.
But he's playing it on this thing, and he's playing. Oh no! But then he has got.
Yeah, big band behind.
Nah,
So
yeah, but he's also got Nile Rodgers with a guitar there, who's probably playing the funky guitar.
there's
that we can hear.
harpeggi.
Harpeggi.
Yeah, never heard of a harpeggi.
No, no. And he plays it like almost like a typewriter, a keyboard, or something like that. A writing keyboard. Anyway, why did we get onto that? Don't know.
Pedal steels.
I realised I haven't put up last week's podcast yet, so I'm running behind.
That doesn't matter.
Oh no. Oh yeah, here we go.
All right, here we go.
In that wheel. Oh, is it all that?
Right.
Have we had that one before?
Well, I don't know. What is it? What is it? What is
Well,
it?
this is where we take. I think we did do this before, didn't we? We said, "Is it all that? Is it all that?" And we talked about special cables. But
Oh yeah, no, and I think we decided that it is.
cables,
No
yes.
problem
But
is
this week we've got a new. Is it all that?
right.
Right? And is it all that this week? Is it all that vinyl?
Right. Yes, I think it is. I have to say, but I think a lot of it's physical. I think it's the physicality and that, which I think puts your state of mind. So I do think it is. But there is definitely a warmth and a bump in the bass end, you know, that kind of, and it's quite subtle. But yeah, but I do think the process, because there's something, and it's never worked for me, you know, putting a CD, well, even more so now streaming, but putting a CD, I mean, streaming that's just nothing. But putting a CD in, there was
Compared
something
to
like record on and lifting the needle
dropping
and that
it in.
pause, there was, and you don't get that anticipation. There's no physical anticipation anymore. It's like streaming is just play. You know what I mean? That sort of play on a screen, so it's all detached. And CD is quite detached because there's no, it's like hidden. You put the CD in, close, play, and you don't know what's going on. You know, the little lays, you know. With a needle, it's like you lift, you picked it up, that lovely sheen.
There's a connection. There's a real connection.
Yeah. There's a whole, yeah, and it is, I think it did make a difference. But because obviously you went down to the shop to buy the record.
Yes.
There's that commitment. And it was
connection.
I mean,
yes, connection to
bought
the record shop man.
Physically quite large thing in your bag that weighed something, you know. You got back and then that take it out, the smell, that sort of fresh, and then the paper with this thing, and that hidden, you didn't see, you just saw the circle. You didn't see the vine, you know, and then you put your hand in that whole, oh, I miss it, that sliding your hand in and feeling the smooth label and your thumb on the edge and then placing it, and then because it was new, you didn't have to clean it, you know? And then, and then it was that anticipation. I really miss that. You know,
and
that
dropping it down. Yeah.
And then he just waited. And then the music started, yeah. And it didn't, at the time though, it was just music. I mean, you know what I mean? You just put it on and all these things you took for granted, but now they've gone, or, you know, they're less common. They haven't gone, but you know, most people, when you go to their house, or most people won't put on vinyl. Most really.
When was the last time you went round someone's house and they popped on a vinyl?
Probably in Edward's cafe. He puts on vinyl.
Does he?
Yeah. So it's all
Nice.
vinyl. And then Mike and Julie, my friends, they have masses of vinyl. I've never heard them play it, but they've got it. And I've got loads of vinyl, but I haven't, because the turntables, I haven't got room for a turn. I haven't. There's no space to put it with all my CD stuff, and so the turntable's upstairs and all the vinyl's under the bed. You know, big boxes of.
Yeah.
And I'd love to get that out, you know. So.
But would you though?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd love to buy vinyl when I'm buying things. It's like things I really like, and there's a vinyl edition. But I don't, because I haven't. And another friend of mine, he buys vinyl a lot, and he's got his turntable, and it's like a treat. So he'll listen on, you know, streaming and all that. But when he really wants to, you know, to hear something he really values, he'll get his vinyl out. even modern stuff. You know, he buys modern stuff on vinyl.
Well, let's just take that. When was the last time you sat down, put on a piece of music, you know, an album aside, and listened to it? CD, streaming, vinyl, cassette.
Oh God, recently, yeah, I do that regularly.
Do you?
Oh yeah,
Not
Bob,
not while you're cooking or when
no,
you're
no,
writing,
no. Bob
marking or
Dylan,
anything.
Bob Dylan, with a website with the links to all the references, open and ready, the cover of the thing, the lyrics. And I did that about 4 times. That was weeks ago. When did his come out? When did Dylan's new one come out? About a month ago, maybe.
Yes,
When
yeah,
music,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah,
6 weeks. Yeah.
yeah. It's something I care about, and then I don't like background music. I can't have music when I'm doing something else.
Really?
Yeah, no, I hate it. So
Oh.
if you're talking to me and if it's just on and it's something that won't bother me. But if you were talking to me saying, "Oh, Phil, I want you to listen to this," and you put it on and talk, I can't. I'd have to be like, "No, I'll either listen to that or talk to you. I can't do both because I'll be too distracted."
Yeah.
So background music, doesn't really do it for me. I mean, the radio's on and it'll be on, but if it's something of mine, no, I can't really.
Yeah, I know. I have to give TV my full attention. I can't,
No,
I can't.
TV on is no. Yeah, I'm like that.
I'm either watching the TV or I'm chatting. I can't do
No,
both. No way. But with music, I'm quite happy, and I love having some music on while I'm chatting or playing a game or cooking or doing anything, whatever. I
yeah.
do love having music on. And I'm trying to think, and I hear what you're saying about the really wanting to concentrate. Yeah, no, I always have this feeling with music that I'll be able to listen to it again. Whereas with the stuff on the TV, I always feel like
Yeah.
I've got to prioritize that because if I don't watch that now, it will be gone, and I'll never
I
see
think
it again.
TV is quite intrusive.
Very, very,
I think
yeah.
if you go around someone's house and the TV's on
No,
and they're talking to you, you just think,
no,
"Let's turn it off."
I just can't do
That's
it. I just can't do
automatic.
it. Yeah.
TV's on. So you came around and see me, the TV's on. I'd automatically turn it off. I wouldn't. There's
No,
no way I'd invite you in and just be looking. And so
no.
sorry to sound like an old fart, but it's just rude. It's just rude. Turn the bloody TV off, or I'll go home then.
Well, you say that, but I mean, like Sal, she can do TV like I can do music. So she will put the TV on just for something, background chatter while she's talking. But it really, she's in and out of it. It's really not a problem. She likes having it on the background. She doesn't like having music on in the background.
You see, we're all different.
We're all different, aren't we? Yeah, but vinyl. I mean, I think you're right. I think there is definitely a tactile experience with vinyl that you don't get with any other music, with other forms.
And that anticipation as well.
Anticipation.
Like live, you get anticipation. The moment they come in, and that's why live is so amazing. And I think vinyl gives you that more than CDs and streaming.
I mean, and I do love the sound, the warm sound, the crackly sound. It adds that top end, doesn't it, sheen to everything, that you just lose when, the whole 80s. The problem with the whole of 80s music was they didn't know how to cope with the purity of 16-bit audio, did they? So it's taken them 20, 30 years to start getting the hang of it. But better
Yeah.
sounding, does it sound better? No, it never sounds better than digital. Digital is
You think?
it is the gold standard. You can play you can make a digital track sound like vinyl, but you can never make a vinyl track sound like
Yeah,
digital.
but you want to make a vinyl track. That's the
No,
point.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there is no argument. Digital is a better recording and audio medium. It's higher quality, it's better, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that vinyl doesn't have a place. And I think I've heard some amazing, the Jack Garrett album. He's using synths and stuff, but his vinyl pressing of that, it's seriously, it hasn't lost much in the translation of vinyl. I thought, you have certain limitations with vinyl, because you can't have the needle jumping out, and so you can't go that low, but it goes down low.
I watched last night was a history of the old grey Worcester. I was up till 1:30.
Really? Really?
And they had all these people. It was from 2018.
Yeah.
And Gary Newman came on.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he did a live thing with his 11-year-old daughter. He did one. I mean, it was 2018, so it was super. Bloody hell, it was good.
Really?
It was really, yeah.
Really?
But he did this new one about global warming and Trump and stuff with his daughter singing. He was only 11, and it's bloody good. And they were all dressed weird stuff, pushing the boundary stuff. Because he's quite a strange bloke, Gary Newman. He's quite social. And then at the end of that, and she walked off. He gave her a big hug. It was really nice. And it was like, dun, 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 dun. And it was bloody hell. They had the guitar. And it was the best version. It was like live and rocky.
Yeah. It's a tune, isn't it?
What a song. And then they had the three of them, Gary Newman, Joan Armatrading, and Dave Stewart, right? Just talking about things. And Dave Stewart became us. Like he was a bit pissed, and he said about modern music and saying how the record companies don't give anyone any. Because Joan Armatrading said she had 3 years from the A&M department to develop, and that was the way in the 70s. It was. Yes. Artists, you let them grow, you left them alone, and he said, he was a bit, and he said, it's the sign 'em, fuck 'em, drop 'em.
Now.
He said, can I say that? and Bob Harris went, not really, but carry on. Everyone was laughing. And then he just had this rant, and it was really good. He really supports artists, Dave Stewart. Right. He really, and he was just saying it's so sad that you get these young people, they're sent to LA, there's 50 songwriters they have to work with, they don't know who they are, the songwriter doesn't know who they are, and then the A&R people don't even know who they are, and then they drop them after a month, going, who are you again? Well, instead of like, you've come with a song, it's your thing. It was very good anyway. I was sort of sitting there going, yes.
Right up your street. Did Gary have a point of view?
No, Gary was very quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet. But
no.
These were all, they were sort of, Bob Harris just said, he was at the edge. They were all quite edgy, Like Gary Newman with the two-way army and everything. At the time, with lots of synths and strange costumes and makeup, it was very different. And the Grey Whistle Test was live bands, no audience. It was a brilliant. I mean, do you remember it? I loved that program. And you get like the Damned, like going completely, and it would end, and there would be. There was no like woo, and it was all of it like, and even the band were like, and the camera stayed on them, and there was that brilliant. It was very human. It just showed them all, like, and they showed things that went wrong, and the people that were on it you know, just everyone. And then they had Peter Frampton came on, and he was talking about, and you just saw all these people just say, oh, you know, golden age.
Golden age.
And then the big bands like the Stones, John Lennon, all these people they were just too big and they couldn't make it to the studio. So they had this bloke, can't remember his name, he got archive footage, film footage, and cut it together of like 20s strange comedy dancing and stuff, but make it fit with the, you know, and they showed them some of the videos. So it's just abstract footage of, I don't know, boxing matches and weird square dances and Morris dancing.
What, to fit? To fit what? Their records?
To fit the song, yeah. So the Stones would release a record.
Right.
So they would say, here's the Stones record. And it was done to these videos.
Right. Oh, wow.
Before MTV.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
You watch them now and they're just surrealist, genius. They're just brilliant. And they kind of work, you know, with these black and white, but they cut it together with all these weird dancing.
Wow.
Sort of,
yeah.
And they were all saying, you know, Gary Newman, all of them were saying, you know, we just don't have that edginess, that kind of, it's all a bit bonkers, you know.
Yes.
It doesn't really make sense. But it's not about getting likes or thumbs ups or, you know, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It wasn't about that. It was about, you know, well, we haven't got any to do, so we'll just do this, you know. And even the studio, but just the whole way. There was one bit where Annie Nightingale, she was interviewed, and they showed the clip that something had happened. Oh, what band was it? It was quite a big band. And the singer was throwing up, like literally, and she was smiling. She was like laughing, going, and it's all this kind of DIY, you know, so, and apparently, and then they go to the band, and the guy who's literally just sort of vomit and stuff, and sort of comes up and looks a bit like, and starts singing. It's some big band, I can't remember, it's The Damned or something like that. And they do a cracking version, you know. It was all that kind of, like just bands, just groups of people, and it's in a studio, and it was like, we're going to film it. And then I think it was like, how many people used to watch the old great? It was something like 8 million. It was massive.
Yeah.
But everyone who watched it, I remember watching it thinking, I'm the only one watching it, because it didn't feel massive.
Yeah.
It was all sort of a bit haphazard, and I love that program. It was brilliant. It was 4 hours it was on. I only watched about 2 hours of it. It was from 9 till 1, and I picked it up, you know, flicking.
Yeah.
It was really, God, what else did they have? And they had some new bands as well. 3 girls they were, Woodland something, Wood. They're really good. So they had sort of modern, kind of modern stuff. Yeah. But it was 2018. It was broadcast, so I think it was the 50th anniversary or something.
Right. Yeah.
It started in 1950. I don't know, 68.
Yeah. I mean, it does. You know, the whole era, recording-wise, was probably the pinnacle, wasn't it? As far as you know, the money that was being lavished on albums, the recording techniques, the gear, you know, it was fabulous. Great sounding bands that time.
Sorry?
Great sounding bands. You know, I'm always looking for fabulous recordings, you know.
I think the Big Pink, which is the band, they're called the band, that's from the 60s, late 60s. That's, you know, the Basement Tapes.
Yeah.
And it's not that good. The thing is, it's not,
no.
But it captures, that's the thing, loads of Tom Waits stuff. It just captures. It's not about whether it was good quality, it's about what it captures.
No, it's a good
you know,
quality
Astral
for
Weeks, Van Morrison, you know, it just captures these brilliant moments of musical magic. There is magical, and you can still hear it now. You put it on and you think that is magic, that is captures that moment. And I just don't think that happens anymore. because everything's so.
But that's because you're a miserable cynic and you think that it's all over, but it's not. You're just old.
Well, I don't know.
It's out there, Phil. Of course it is. It would be such a random thing that it happened when you were young, but it all ended when you
No,
grew
but
up. It's just
yeah,
not going to be like that. The chance of it being like that are 1,000,000 to 1. So it's much more likely that you just don't know where it's at the moment.
I think it has changed. It's fine. I don't really, but the the reference point, it's changed. It's completely changed
Yeah,
because
it's
of
always changing. It's
yeah,
always
exactly
changing.
because of the, but there was that golden age that it will never be like, it can never be like that
No,
again.
it'll never be
That it
like
wasn't
that.
accessible to everyone.
But
It
have you
was
ever? Oh God, I've been listening. I can't even remember uh, who it is, but those, the big bands. When were they? The Glenn
well,
Miller
big band, yeah, 40s and 50s, late
40s
40s,
and 50s. Going to see one of those must have
yeah,
been a
yeah, brilliant,
phenomenal
yeah,
experience,
I
audible,
still would be, yeah.
And I should imagine that people who went to see them, in their 20s, when they got to the 70s, they said, well, it's all gone, isn't it? It used to be that you
No,
used to be
I
able to
get
go
that.
and
I do
see.
understand that, but the change has been. It's like it's huge. It's not just. It's like a paradigm shift. It's massive. It's not like it was always recorded and people got together and played music and that's fine and all that. Now it's so linked to something else that isn't music. See, music always was linked to music. It really was. It couldn't be anything else because that's what it was. It was simpler. Now music isn't music. It's not. It's linked to many other things, and that's fine, but you can't compare it. So it's not. You can't compare the beginning of recorded music or performance music up to about 1993, 4 to what's happening now. You can't compare it. It's utterly changed. So before that, it was always a thread of similarity. It's performance artists, collaboration, live, it doesn't matter whether it was recorded digitally or not. It's not about how it was recorded or how musicians play together. It's about the perception that musicians have and how what they grew up with. So you grew up with, music and the people who played music, and what your reference points, it's just changed so hugely now that you cannot, there's no one of the magnitude that there isn't. There's no Tom Waits, Bob Dylan's, David Bowie's, all that lot. There aren't of that magnitude who did the body of work of, there really isn't. And that's not because there
I
can't
disagree.
be.
I disagree. I think there is, and there will be, and we can't see them because it's like they're
Well,
they're
yeah, okay,
they're
I agree with
doing
that.
it now. They're doing it now. We're in the, it's like in the formation phase. These people.
No. Dylan was hailed and Bowie and all that quite quickly, Prince and all that lot. There's loads of them. I mean, they're great.
I do now. I do now.
Greats from the 90s.
Yeah, but there was what about Mark Bolan? I bet he was. Oh
Yeah,
man, but he had a few songs and then his star faded. David
yeah,
Bowie kept going and is
yeah,
amazing. But we
yeah.
didn't know that when his first few songs
No,
came
no,
out.
but the 70s but I'm talking about the 90s, which was 30 years ago now. Is there anyone of that gravitas? There's some great music. There's some fantastic bands in the 90s. But do they have that weight that Neil Young in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that's a long time. Neil Young was considered, by the 90s, it was kind of so from the 90s now, any bands that, even though I like lots of them, but they don't have that kind of, they don't. I think they admit it themselves. They're not up there with you know, Blue Valentine and all this kind of stuff. Well, for me anyway, whatever.
Yeah, for you. And that's the point, isn't it?
Well, Primal Scream, I'll put them up there. They're
Wow. Radiohead,
yeah, Radiohead, yes.
the Smiths.
That's 80s.
Oh, that
There's
doesn't
a lot of
count.
80s.
Is
Okay,
there a
let's say
lot
from
of
like
80s?
late 90s onwards then. You know, David Gray? No,
No.
exactly. So you immediately go, no, but massive, very popular.
Yeah, but I
During
mean,
this
there was
time.
probably David,
Yeah.
thingy back in the 70s, wasn't there? I'm a long-haired lover from
Oh,
Liverpool.
Donny Osmond, legend.
Donny Osmond.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, you just sound like an old git when you say
No, I
this
don't
stuff.
know, Dan. There's books written about this. It's not
Yeah,
just being
by old gits, by old gits. It's ever changing music, and that's why we love it. There's always something new, and I am no less in love with it now than I was back in the 80s. And there's every year I still endlessly pore over my top 10, and they're always brilliant. The albums, I've always got an album of the year, and it's awesome. And that's not because music is going to the dogs. Music isn't going to the dogs.
No, I don't think that at
It's
all.
changing, that's all.
I'm
It's
not
just
saying
changing.
I'm not. Music's brilliant. There are some brilliant bands. I bloody see them.
Yeah, Eels.
The popular. It's not just me. Listen to Dave Stewart. It's the whole industry. It's the way.
Yeah, it's changing.
There's
But I mean, everything changes, mate. Everything changes.
You think Spotify's good for music, do you?
Not for musicians,
Facebook
no.
good for music?
Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to make a living
No,
out
that's
of being
what
a
I'm saying.
musician, am I? Pardon?
That's all I think. Is it just like I think that people, that's the thing. If your focus is about how many likes I get, how can I be like this comparative thing rather than, and there are, of course, there are bands with themselves, and it's so difficult not to be drawn into the whole Facebook, that shebang of stuff. It's so difficult. How can you not be drawn in to trying to be original? So original becomes something that you try and be.
Wasn't it in the 70s, wasn't it? Radio, payola, and trying to get on the Billboard charts. Wasn't that a similar? Couldn't you draw a parallel? The wannabes, they had a different vehicle, but they were still trying to climb on board.
Of course, yeah.
But not everybody's playing that game, are they?
Maybe it's harder not to nowadays. Maybe that's the thing. It's harder not to. You kind of have to.
Do you though? I don't know if you do. I just think what's the point of saying that it's it's not like it used to be?
I'm not saying that.
You are. That's exactly what you're saying.
I'm not saying music's not like it used to be. I'm saying that the reference points around it have changed to the detriment of the art form. Musicians, nothing's changed in the art. I'm just saying the reference points. It's no one's fault. It's just very difficult to be, because it's so visual now. Music's an auditory thing. It's so visual. It's so visual beyond. Obviously, yes, there's always been videos, but it's so visual now. It's so about what you see. It's so about that.
Maybe back in the 60s,
it's about lyrics.
It got in the 60s and 70s.
People don't give a shit about lyrics because they don't listen to lyrics. No, right. So, yeah. So, a song is lyrics and music. That's what a song is. That's fine if people don't. But so it's changed. That's all I'm saying. I honestly don't lose sleep over it. I'm simply saying that the reference point of what music is has changed. And it's just a bit like, it's becoming thinner. It's becoming more And yet I think music used to have real, there's something about it
Maybe back in the
more
60s,
mysterious, because it
you
could
know,
be.
audio had a moment when it was possible to broadcast audio, but it wasn't possible to broadcast video.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
audio became more important. It had
that's
its
it.
moment in the sun.
That's all. Yeah.
You know, before
Which
then,
was
back
good for the art form, because the audience, it was what the sound mattered, not the look. That's all I'm saying. And because now the visual medium has become so powerful and so overreaching of everything, it sort of smothers the music is an auditory art form. It's about listening. It shouldn't matter what you look, and as soon as, and of course, the beat in the 60s it started, of course, the visual thing, it's always been, but I still think the what it sounds like is becoming less and less important now, which in other words diminishes. It's almost like saying art becomes less about what it looks like, in which case would diminish the art form, the form of, as in visual art.
Well, we'll have to disagree, because I think
Yeah.
there is still plenty of times when people are listening to just audio. Sure, there's a lot of visuals in there now. Visual has taken its place at the top table. And people love their visuals. There's no two ways about it. Probably people are there's more visual people than audio people. The visual sense is higher up the food chain than the audio senses to most people. If you ask them which would they prefer to lose, they would say their hearing rather than their sight. But that doesn't write it off. It's still there. It's still, for me, it's still my favorite sense, and no one's going to take that away.
No. Absolutely. And and yeah, they don't. But I think that the last point is just that most people don't listen to the end of a song. It's almost like saying most people don't finish a book.
But that's just sweeping generalizations.
No, they did some survey that because the way Spotify works, the way it blends from one song. So in other words, it's almost pointless to finish a song in the realm of Spotify. It's almost because it blends into the other one. That's fine, but you'll never hear.
Spotify doesn't blend on my Spotify doesn't.
No, but it can if you do playlists and stuff. It turns there's a fade and it fades into the other. It's kind of seamless.
You can if you switch that on.
Yeah, obviously you can. Yeah, but I'm saying apparently it's very prevalent. I understand why. I'm just saying it's prevalent that attention spans are diminishing. They are.
Yeah.
So,
well, I bet, and I'm sure Mozart would be saying that about pop music, wouldn't he? He would be going, "It's disgusting what they're doing to the art form."
Yeah.
And TikTok, 10 seconds, 15 seconds is quite enough of a song now. Then that's that is it's a mind blower that the most of the popular
and I'm not going to start thinking
pop
that's a
music
good
now
thing,
is 15 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not going to think that's a good thing. I don't care why it does not. It's not.
But you're an album man, aren't you? You love an album.
The art form, a song, a collection of songs created by.
TikTok isn't going for you, is it?
No.
But
what it does influences millions of their reference point. Then it's like news is becoming 258 whatever the characters. That's what news is becoming. It's not good. That's not good.
Even less, isn't it? It's the clickbait headline. Is your news.
No one reads it. I've had arguments who argue the headline, and then you simply, so it's of interest to me, and I go, I explain, and they go, I don't know, I just saw it on whatever. There's no reference, so there's no sort of depth to an argument saying, well, the reason I think this is because I've read this, I've talked to this person. It doesn't matter about agreement or disagreement, it's great, but it's about, there's no sort of like, well, I spoke to this person who said this, and that criticised something that I can refer to this, and this, all this wealth, which is what makes humans humans. It's like,
do you think it's ever been like that?
What?
Do you think it's ever been like that? That, you know, discourse.
No. Well, yes, it has, in more so.
More so.
Obviously, there's no, obviously.
So is humanity just slowly going down the toilet across the board then?
It's a really difficult one, that, because many ways it's not, and many ways it is, which has maybe always been the case.
And I think on that point, we will wrap it up. Take it home. That was a good one, Phil. Enjoyed that.
Was it?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a classic. That's a classic. We just want to make sure we don't do that every week, that same rant. We've got to keep
it's
it
not
fresh.
a rant.
Sounds like a rant.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you're passionate about stuff. Well,
yeah,
that's
I was
what
going to
love
say,
about
you've
you.
got to care. People who don't, I don't know. There's things I want to say, you know, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll save it for another episode. Save it for another episode. But maybe we'll see, you know, maybe in 20 years' time, we can look back on this and go, we just did not know how good we had it then.
I know,
Wick whack, use 1 second
what
songs.
we have, what's available for us, we're in the golden age.
Oh man, aren't we?
In terms of me as a recording musician.
Oh,
God,
unbelievable.
Wonderful.
Unbelievable.
No, I don't criticise any, and nor I don't, God, it's wonderful. That's the good stuff. I'm talking about.
I remember trying to record.
The grassroots, nothing's changed.
Yeah. No.
The grassroots, which is what you said, it's out there. Of course it is. Of course it is. But, you know, it's the beyond, and that's what's. And I think we can change it. You know, musicians and artists can change that, I think. But yeah,
I think we have to get better at is filtering out that top level of noise, because I'm aware, right, that the President of the United States is Donald Trump. Obviously, I'm aware of that, but I refuse to engage with any of the publicity that goes on about him. So I just avoid it all now, because it's so pointless listening to any of it. And if I can filter that out, then I can filter out, you know, I know there's a thing called TikTok, and I know that, you know, it's like crack, but I can filter all of that out as well. And that just does not, you know, it is possible to do these things, you know, it's really noisy. It's like the kid in the classroom, isn't it? You know, the loudest kid in the classroom. But you can filter them out, and you can find your own group below that, you know, possibly find your own group below that, and communicate in the you know, just between that group in that level, you know. So not worry that they're getting all the headlines, they're getting all the press, they're getting all the millions of hits, likes, views, all the money is going in that direction.
I couldn't agree anymore. That's the point.
Irrelevant. Yeah. Let that happen. Yeah. Like on the surface of the ocean, and then somewhere else carve out or
beautiful stuff going on. There's, you know, as I said, like that. All the bands they were on the show yesterday. They had the Gary Newman and the Peter Frampton stuff, and they had new bands and stuff. They were great. I mean, really good. Never heard of them.
Good. Never heard of them.
Yeah,
no.
But because the old Grey Whistle Test ethos is exactly what you just said. They do search. for the ones, and it was brilliantly, you know, the harmonies and stuff. It was really good. These three guys, I can't remember, Woodland something, Wood something, and one was playing a floor tom and a snare. I mean, yes, standing up floor tom snare, a bit Mumford and Sons, but you know, did it well, worked quite well. A guitarist, piano, and a bouzouki. But the harmonies, the singing was really good.
Yes.
And the vocals and stuff, not sure if they're American. I think they might have been British, but whatever.
So that should be our mission, Philip. Our mission to be try and find these strata, these seams,
the nuggets of gold.
Yeah, to find where they're collecting, where they're flowing, where they're connected, and bring them together, bring them out, present them in the Phil and Danny
Which
show.
is what Dave Stewart. So basically, to finish, Dave Stewart, you know, because I don't like his music particularly, but I like him. I like what he was saying. I'm not. So it's irrelevant whether you know, but I admire you know, all that stuff, the Tourists and Eurythmics stuff. I actually like the Tourists, but he really supported, always has done, and he's played with some really good people. You know, he's played with Dylan and stuff like that. But he supports artists, and he was saying, you know, I really want to support artists to allow them to grow, irrespective of whether they get, and he went big or whatever. It's not about that. It's saying to grow people who have something to say and allow them to find their way of saying it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. It's still a valuable thing. And that's what I just think the industry, not about the public,
the industry,
it lacks now because of so many things. I think, the industry lacks that, finding an artist, as Joan Armatrading, and she talked very eloquently about it. You know, she 3 years, so she was signed, and for 3 years she was allowed to just put things out, didn't really do anything, tour, didn't really get much attention, and then by the time in 3 years she released Love and Affection and all that, and she went massive. But the record company were with her all the way. They didn't go, "Oh, you haven't done it in a week. We haven't got enough." And it's not the musicians' fault. It's just the pressure they're under to have, you know, this awful, you know, digital marketing and social media awareness and all this sort of crap. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure to be something that if you're not, you get sort of pushed aside. So how many are we losing? You know, how many of these possible greats just haven't been given time with the backing they
Well,
need?
you see, there again, I'm diverging from you, because I think if your passion is music, ain't nothing going to stop you making music. And that's always been the case with art. You don't need a record company. You don't need 3 years.
Well,
you don't need a sponsor.
And that's one thing the modern age has delivered, that you don't need that which is really positive, the do-it-yourself. I love that. It's just,
right on.
You know, I love that. I mean, you know, and I you know, when we started in the 90s, Spotify, you know, that would have been great. I would have loved all that.
Yeah.
I love Spotify in the idea
Discovery.
that you can put a song and it's out there and everything you can hear. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What I don't like is all the stuff. Seriously, and people say, even now to me, I mean, you know, all the time, you've got to, with that phrase, you've got to have a Facebook account. You've got to, you know, that's what I find a bit depressing. You know, so Spotify is just this platform. That's great. Put it out there, lovely. But it isn't enough. You do have to do all this other stuff. Or not. I don't know.
No. Well, that's what we can find out. We can start trying to find places or channels or
and there'll be stuff on Spotify that is brilliant. Of course there will be. Beautiful stuff that has one listener.
Yeah, but how, you know, where's the old grey whistle test of 2020? You know, where is the channels that these stuffs? I bet there's some really.
You need an old grey whistle test sensibility with Spotify. That's some sort of filter, like you said, someone who goes to Spotify and says, "Take a listen to this person." Yeah, I found this, but there's just so much.
Well, let's start looking. Let's
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
And if we find music, we'll bring it
Yeah, that's
here. If
fine.
we
I
find
like that.
channels, we'll bring them here. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah, I
start
like that.
collecting them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll make it. Yeah, we'll start
Yeah.
applauding all this stuff. Have you got
Yeah.
it?
No, I'm back again.
Great. Yeah, I'd love that. I mean, I love it when you introduce me to new music, you know. So
Yeah.
let's do that. Let's do that, Phil.
Search on Spotify. They will be out there, absolutely guaranteed. There are nuggets out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm interested in
Absolutely.
like Welsh because I'm learning Welsh now and stuff. But you know, there's loads of Welsh music and Welsh bands and
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
some. Well, there will be. There'll be some great stuff that's so niche.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait. Can't wait. All right, Philip.
Right.
Have a lovely week, mate.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. It's
I'll be
always a
back in
pleasure.
London Thursday. Well, probably. I might be coming back here. I'm going back on Saturday,
All right.
and then
Good.
might be coming back here, depending on
All
what.
right. Yeah.
So,
Good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
you take care. Love to
you
Rosa
too. I
and your
will.
dad.
Thank
Give him a big
you.
hug from us.
Thank you. See you soon.
See ya, Phil.
Bye.
It's Phil and Danny Show. Thanks for joining us. Let's go.